Zayin with Aleph, okay? It's actually a repeat of Daf Yud Aleph. Tana Rabbanan, a Chassid Potter B'Kriyishma. It says in the Mishnah that a Chassid, as we learned previously in the first parak, a Chassid is Potter B'Kriyishma because he's tired b'mitzvah. Kindness is a psula. He's tired b'mitzvah, and we learn now from the pasuk b'shituk v'yitzecha prat la'isik b'mitzvah l'chbeder prat l'chasen. But again, the yisoid is the same. It's oisik b'mitzvah, potter b'mitzvah. V'kan amar kindness is a psula, potter. So one a chayiv. Now, where is it implied in the pasuk? My mashma. Amar apapa kidem b'chma derech v'shus. When do you chayiv in kriyishma? B'lechtecha v'derech v'shus. Avachanam v'shus. In fact, the Gemara, what do you mean? The pasuk says because of the mitzvah. So then you're also chayim in kriyishma. Afilach yevachon alikri. Kilei mekru beleches. Ma belechtecha. Shma mina. Beleches didoch udimichayev. So the mitzvah petiras. Yachri. Now you're curious it's a psula. I feel good so money. So what if it's a mitzvah? So by marrying an almana, you're also fulfilling a mitzvah. So my answer is no. Hacha tari. By the psula, because of the issue of psulim, he's tari. He's more occupied. Hacha loy tari. So therefore, we can't say kriyishma. In fact, if that's true, we shall tirda. Feel tov supposed to be am. So even if there's some other type of tremendous tirda, overwhelming tirda, and it's loss, tragic situation, his boat sinking. So Lama Amaraga Zidam Rav Avil is Chai b'chamitzis amus b'Torah. And Avil certainly also be Torah. Chutz b'Tfilin sheneimem pe'er shempecha v'shalecha. So Ami Hasam tirda the rishus. So tirda rishus, you're potter. The Torah doesn't recognize that as something that's potter for mitzvahs. Tirda the mitzvah. So you need both. A tirda of mitzvah. Then you're potter. Therefore, kindness is a psula, is potter. Okay. Let's start the next Mishnah. Okay. This is going to go a little faster now, so hold on. The Mishnah says as follows: Rachitz Laila Rishain Shemesa. We're going back on Rabbi Gamliel. Another meister of Gamliel. Rabbi Gamliel was Rachatz Laila Arishan Shemesa Ishtay. Even though he was still in the day of Avelis, he allowed himself to bathe. Amar Tamil L'Matenu Rabbeinu, you taught us. So how is it you're allowed to do this? Since I'm an istis, we'll see in the Gemara, we'll explain that because he's suffering so much as an istis that he's not bathing, so in the din d'Rabbanan, which it is over here, the Chazal did not obligate it. Ukishameis Tobi Avdoi Kibul Olav Tanchumin. When Tovi, his Eved, died, he accepted Tanchumin. He accepted people to come to be menachem him, to comfort him. Hamoki menachem eschem. Omelo Tamid of the Matenu Rabbeinu. You taught us She'en Mekamu Tanchumin. You taught us She'en Mekamu Tanchumin Olavadim. That's inappropriate to accept condolences from about avadim. We'll see the Gemara a while bit. I'm like, Ein Tavi Avdi Kol Avadim. He was a special Eved kosher. He was a different madrega. An Eved is Jewish, someone Eved Kanaini, but who's chayiv in some mitzvah. So to some level, he's almost like a Jew, but ultimately he's an Eved. He's still an Eved. He's a shame Eved. Chasidim writes to the Kriyishma. Now let's say the Chassid said, we said yesterday Chassid's potter from Kriyishma. What do you want to say Kriyishma? I'm sorry, I didn't say that. The Tanna Kama says, Chatzer imrat l'kol Kriyas Shema Alayla Rishon Koira. Tanna Kama permits, if you want to, you feel you're okay, you're not tired, you can. And Rav Shamil disagrees. He says, no, you can't just do that. Maybe we'll see if you're a Talmud Chacham, but if you're not, it's arrogance to say that I'm going to read Kriyas Shema, I'm a Chassan, and you're not tired, and I'm not tired, I can still concentrate. It's Gaiva. Zokti Gemara. Let's go back to the first day. Rabbi Gamliel bathed, even though it was the first day of Avelis from his wife, my time with Gamliel. The answer is Kasava Aninis Laila Drabanan. It is Avelis, but it's a Did Drabanan because the Kfur was already during the day. And that night, that evening, there's Din Aninis, meaning to say over here, like the first day of Avelis, is Drabanan, Dichsiv, Vachrisak Yoimar. It's only that day is Yoimar. The day is bitter. And Mokum Istanis, so since it's in Rabbanan, we wouldn't go Izer Istanis. Zokti Gemara Kishemei. Yeah, let's go on. Kishemeis Tovi Avdam, Tana Rabbanan, Avanim Mishwachas Einam Dulam B'Shur. Now again, this is we're saying the Brachos tells us we don't go through the regular Nichum Avelim process by Avadim. When a person loses an Evid, it's not the same as losing a Karov. So so you don't do a shura where people line up and they say Amakim Menachem. They don't say the special Brachos Avelim by the Psudas Avra or Tanchumi Avelim or the regular condolences of Amakim Menachem. We don't do that. Maisu V'Shos Rabbi Elazar. So Rabbi Elazar had a shifcha, and she passed away, and he was very disturbed. He was very, at the loss of his shifcha. She was a very good shifcha, and nichnasu talmida of the Nachamoy, and they came to be Menachem. Now, but he understood you cannot receive condolences on a shifcha. Kivan Shiro, when he saw them, so he wanted to avoid them. So he went upstairs. Now, they came in, they saw he went upstairs, so they paid no attention to the fact that he's trying to avoid them. He went into the entranceway, to a different room, or the entranceway of the house in Nichlas Achrov. They followed him there also. Nichlas Atrakli went to the main room, Nichlas Achrov. So finally, he had enough. He said, listen, Rabbi Say, I thought, that you'll understand. It uses an expression here. You'll get burnt from warm water. You'll pick up on a slight hint. And now, how many hints can I give you? You don't even get burnt from boiling water. What are you doing? Look, I taught you. So therefore, I'm avoiding you because this is not correct. So what do you do? What are you supposed to say to the person? He lost something. It's a loss. Just like a person loses his property, the concept of a Eved, a Shivcha, is also Yimali L'chach Yisraincha. Tani Yidech Avodim Mishvach Zem Mispirim. So we'll see a while over here that you don't do a hesped. Eved Kosher Love have Ish Toiv and Neman. We Ish Toiv, it was Neman. We enjoyed his work. How can you go so far? What are you going to say now for Ksherim? There has to be you have to be very careful in praising people and Spadim as not to make sure it's properly, appropriate for that person and not taking away from someone else. Tarabanan. And Koyin Avos a little Shleisha. There's a rule that we only designate 3 is of Avnitz of Yaakov. Those are our avos. Those are our forefathers. We only call 3 people our forefathers. In Kodim Moyes, with our mothers, there's 4. the Sarifka Rachalea, my timer. Now why? We know. Let's say, what do you mean? What about I'm a descendant of Ruvain or Levi? It's also our forefathers. Those are the final groupings of Klal Yisrael, the Shvatim. So is it because you say maybe we don't know though? Like we can't say Ruvain, and no one really knows exactly if he comes from Ruvain or not. Shimon, so that can't be the reason because you don't know Imi Rachel Kasin Imi Leah. We don't say if we don't know which Shvatim, we don't know from Rachel Leah either. Ad Hachi Chashiva Tvei, Ad Hachi Chashiva. Sorry, Tvei. More than that, another generation Lo Chashiva. To go down to though, it's less. It obviously is interesting though. It's as important the breakdown of the Shvatim is. It's not enough to be called our forefathers. Now this is a similar, different use of the word Abba. It's not the same thing. There's a term, Abba Pliny. Avodim B'Shvach is en koine so Abba Pliny. Don't call them Abba, Father Pliny, Abba Im Pliny. That's inappropriate honor given to a shif, a Eved. It's like too much of a title. We call that Rabbanim maybe or whatever, Abba or Chashuvim, but not Tavadim. Because they were Chashiv, so an exception can be made over there. Okay, Zakti Wavaita, we have some Agadita here, some very important concepts. Amr Ablaz, Ma'id Chsiv, what does the Pasuk say? It says, I'll bless you in life, b'shimcha esa kapoy. So we explain that to mean, Kein avarechacha b'chaya. This is what a person says to Hashem, I'm going to bless you. Zu Kriyashma. That's, Kriyashma is called Bracha, Hashem Echad. I recognize Hashem is the source of all Bracha, Hashem Echad. Zu Kriyashma. B'shimcha esa kapoy. In your name, I'm going to lift up my hands, Zu Tefillah. Tefillah is I lift up my hands in Tefillah. V'im oise kein olav agaz oimer kamo chaylev v'deshen tisba nafshi. Just like Hashem, just like the satisfaction in the korbanos, also chaylev v'deshen. It's like the Tefillah tisba nafshi is like it satisfies. And a person who does both, Torah, Kriyashma is a form of Torah, Kriyashma and Tefillah is Noichal Olam Hazeh Olam Haba. How do I know that? The continuation of the pasuk we quoted before. Svasai Renonais. My lips are praising, they're full praise. It's plural though, Renonais. Yahalapi. So we must be talking about two things. Logic tells us those two things are Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Rabbi Lazar pasuk the Messiah. Okay, now we're going to go through numerous different tefillahs of the Amoraim that they would say at the end of their Shemona Esrei. Rabbi Lazar, some of them we do as part of our tefillahs. But Rabbi Lazar pasuk the Messiah Tzlusay. What did Rabbi Lazar add to his tefillah after he finished saying the Brachos of Shemona Esrei tefillah? He says as follows: Hamachi, Yiratu v'nei Hashem Elokeinu. That you should dwell. Rashi learns in our lots. Lashon goyrel. You should dwell with us. You should place on us. It should be shach. It should dwell upon us. You should place upon us. Avav achva shalom v'reis. Tirba gvulenu b'talmidim. You should bring a lot of talmidim, so we can be mashpia on talmidim. V'tatzliach. Success, sofeinu achris tikva. What he means here in this expression is an expression of we should succeed on our end with our ultimate goal, our achris. As we have a goal, what our goal is, and tikva, and our hope, we should be able to bring that to fruition. We should be able to, not always do we have, we have a certain goal, and we're not always able to accomplish that. We should be zeicher to do that here. That's the tefillah. There's one more part of it. And you should put our chelik, our part in the Gan Eden, and you should help us have a good friend and Yetzer Tov in your world. And we should get up and we should have yichud levaveinu. We should have like a strength in our heart, liyira, as shimcha. I think I translated that yichud levaveinu is correct. Liyira shmecha v'tavo lefanecha koyus avshenu v'toifa. And our good feeling should come in front of you. It should come to you, the toiva. Our positive feeling. Okay, that's one tefillah. Was there noch a tefillah? Rabbi Yechon Batzim Saim Tlusei. Amrach Yiltzon Fanecha Hashem Lekeinu. Shetatzitz B'Bushaseinu. You should peek at our busha, how we feel inadequate. V'tabit B'Roseinu. And look at our difficulties. It's islabishach, and therefore then and then you should be mislabish. You should present yourself with rachamim, tiskase, buzecha, and strength, with his atif, and you should wrap yourself with chasidus secha, with his azer. So again, also gird yourself, with the belt b'chanina secha, with your chanina. With your like mercy, v'tavu fanecha midas tuvcha v'anvasasecha. It should come in front of us your goodness and your humbleness. Reb Zera Amar Basar B'Sayim Tlusay Amar Yiratum v'necha Hashem Ekeinu Shel nechta. We shouldn't sin. V'lo nevosh. We shouldn't be embarrassed. V'lo nichalem mi'avoseinu. We shouldn't be embarrassed from our fathers with our averis. Hashem should help us that we shouldn't have averis and embarrassments. That should be our profession. That's what we do. And we shouldn't be sad. We shouldn't suffer. Our hearts should not suffer. And our eyes shouldn't be sad, shouldn't be black. So this is a familiar one. We say this every Chodesh Benzing on Shabbos. Shetitei lanu chayim aruchim, chayim sheshalom, chayim shetovis, chayim shebrochim, chayim penosu, chayim shechizut tzomis, chayim sheis b'miyos chet, chayim she'ein b'm busha chlima, chayim she'oisher v'chavod, chayim tibanu aves teira yoshamayim, chayim she'temei lanu kol mishalois libenu l'toiva. Let's do a little bit more. Rabbi Basar Tlusay Amar Yiltzon Fanecha Hashem Lekeinu V'Vseinu. Should save us from those azeponim, those you say that azus, those people that have azus, azus ponim, mi azeponim from those people, and mi azus ponim. Rashi says azus ponim means shelo yotzi alai laz mamzerim. They should say it means they should say that we're azeponim, that we're azus ponim, we're mamzerim. Mi adam ra. From bad people, mi pegara, mi eitzara, mi chavera, mi shachinra, bad neighbor, mi satan, from the satan, a mashchis, mi din kosher, and from a difficult court case, or a mi baldin kosher, a person, different person in court. Ben shu b'bris, a Jew or goy, v'avagav the kaimek tzutzala the Rebbe. Now, even though he was very well protected. Who's taught Rebbe? Rebbe had the tzutzi aled the Rebbe. He had these policemen from the government were always protecting him because he was so important. Yet he still davened to protect me from these dangerous people. Okay, we'll stop here at Rav Safra.